So what I'd like to do now is explain to you the basic concepts and structures behind the effects section of the Kurzweil PC3 synthesizer. Let me start by way of giving you one reverb sound. Here's a default program with the drum key map. Now I can put a reverb on this. So here's the dry, and here's the wet. This reverb algorithm we're particularly proud of. It's one of many, many that are in the machine. It takes up 1 unit of effects power. The PC3 has 16 of these units of effects power, which means this quality reverb can appear for every single MIDI channel in this instrument. That's just to give you an idea of the power. So how do we allocate this? Because we might want to use all 16 of our effects power on a single MIDI channel if we want to make a very long chain of chorus, delay, reverb, distortion, Leslie. We can use the special nonlinear function called compressors and pitchers, and we can make chains that use all the effects at once. And the truth is that the sounds in the machine, as they come, have varying different amounts of effects power that have been applied to them. Here's a clean electric guitar. It has some effects. Here's a bass. Here's another bass. Here's drums. As I said, you can have independent effects on each MIDI channel, but we can also have independent effects for every layer on a program. And in the case of the drum set, this is often the case where we have two layers that have completely independent effects. Whenever you want to hear a program and take away the effects really quick, you can actually use the effects bypass feature. So if I touch the edit button very quickly, I'm in the program editor, but I can just touch the effect button now and it will act as a bypass. So here's the program as it's sounding right out of the vast synthesizer. Here's what the effects do to it. Now that effect, let me just look at, if I actually look at the program effects page, I can see that it's using an insert effect, number 827, E-piano chorus dyno. And it also has an aux send to a reverb. And it says that I've selected one of 3 units. So this actual MIDI channel is using 3 of my 16 units. So eventually we're going to run out of resources before we play all 16 channels. So the point of this short chapter is to let you know how these effects are being allocated. Because every patch wants to have its own insert effects. And we also sometimes want to use many different instruments at once that maybe sum to a common reverb. That's the concept of an aux send. And so the structure of the effects in the PC3 is to provide you an insert for every program and also 2 aux sends that all the programs can share. And if I'm showing you the program editor, the effects page in the program editor, I can select the chain that I want to be my insert, and I can also select what is the primary aux send and how much the level is. But if I have one aux send, actually 2 aux sends for the entire machine, and I have 16 channels that are all asking for their own aux reverb, who wins? This is where I want to show you the major effects page of the PC3X. So from program play mode, or just from play mode, you can touch the effect button and go to effect mode. And this will show me on the top, I can see effects are enabled, and the channel that I'm pointing to is channel 1. The Y means yes. It means yes, I can play those insert effects. I have enough resources to play them. And as I scroll across the channels, I can see what insert effects are being used on each channel. And I can see also that box means that's the current channel that I'm playing for my keyboard mode. And I go to 8 and I see a parentheses. The parentheses means it doesn't have enough resources to play that chain of effects. Well, gosh, what is on channel 8? Let me go back to play mode and scroll to channel 8. I see, it's an organ mode program with the Leslie. That uses more resources than some programs do. And it simply wasn't enough to be played. But I'm hearing it now. The reason is because if I go back to effects page now, I see that I'm playing on channel 8. And yes, it's playing the inserts, but guess what? It has stolen the insert resources from channel 7 and over here at channel 4. So the priority goes to the sound that I'm playing at the moment. So here's my distorted Leslie, just like I like it. Well, that's beautiful, but if I want to play these other effects also, then how am I going to get the resources? Well, now we have to choose. It gives priority to the program that you're playing at the moment. The next level of priority is the low number of the channel. So it will always try to allocate the lower channels first, if it can, or if it has to steal one, it tries to steal. It's a complicated stealing algorithm that will enable us to do this. So if I want to play the Leslie at first, I might want to grab the effects that are playing on this morph base that I'm missing, and those I'll have to choose. And so you can always turn off different effects until you see the inserts appear the way you want them. I can actually turn, as I'm scrolling, I can turn off the various effects for the channels, and you'll see that as soon as I turned off channel 5, all of a sudden the big one for channel 8 appears and is ready. So I can sort of pick and choose the kind of resources that I want to. So ideally, if you had every program in your machine that only used one insert effects, they could all play at once. And also, if they were all, for example, playing the orchestral programs, by and large, use an aux effect for the Symphony Hall reverb because they don't need special inserts like Leslie's. And so if several channels are simply calling up an aux reverb that is shared, then you have many more resources to be applied across the board. So here, in many cases, as soon as you have one or two channels that are sharing an aux bus reverb resources, then you have plenty to do whatever inserts are called for. So that's the introduction to effects mode to show you how these things are allocated and how you can view and control the status of the effects. This is something that you'll run into when you're using the unit multitemporally and in setup mode as well.